Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from SG TCG. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys the Marco Decklist profile that was requested. Uh, Video's been slacking a little bit. I was prepping for this regional in Madison, so only 1 week to play test. So I was really play testing over, recording content, but regionals is over, so let's get right back into making these videos. So without further ado, let's get into the deck list. We got the main man himself, Marco. Unfortunately, do not have the alt art, but base will do. So Dawn -1 attach, it lets you draw a card and then you put one on either on the top or the bottom, and then you give one of your opponent's characters -2000. Really good for cycling if you need something different, or if you have like a card you don't need, you can put it to the bottom to potentially get something new, with also reducing your opponent's cost, since my version of Marco is a lot of control, so gets you gets those opponent's characters in range for some of your cards that can pop characters. So without further ado, the first card, the first one cost I run is Otama. So I'm running 4 Otama. It's on play -2000 to one of your opponent's attack stats. Not only that, it's a 2K. It's not searchable with Ezo, but mainly a 2K or to reduce to get something in range. So with leader ability and Otama, that's -4000. So with the new Newgate, you could pop a 5K. So that's you get rid of a 9K with Otama on leader ability. So pretty good. Next one cost in the deck, we are running Ezo. So on play, look at the top 5 cards and search for a Whitebeard Pirates. This is to help find some of those pieces that you have in the deck. There's a decent amount of targets for Ezo, so usually never whiffs at all. And next card, it is out of the new structure deck. I am running a 4 of Thatch. This is a 2K, a searchable 2K at that. And if your leader includes the Whitebeard Pirates, give up to one of your opponents -2000, but you have to draw a life. So it's a way to reduce, a way to counter out that is searchable, but you do take that life. But this card does come in handy with reducing your opponent's things. So it is a 4 of, in my opinion, in the deck. Next, we're running a 4 of Jozu. So this is another 2K that is searchable off Ezo, but if you have 2 or less life cards and you attach 1 Dawn to him, it gains rush. So, if anything else, this is also like a last finale hit. Very rarely am I using the rush capabilities of the Jozu, but it is there if you really need to use the rush card. The next 4 drop in the list is an OG Marco, but we are using the blocker Marco from OP2. I'm using the ones out of the structure deck. No foil here, but it's a blocker. On KO, when I'm at 2 life, I believe, yeah, if you have 2 or less life, you can trash a Whitebeard Pirates card from your hand, and he comes back from the trash rested. So it's a way to just continuously keep them on board. They might continue to swing at him, so it's like a consistent blocker. I mean, it's also got an attack stat line of 5, so it can swing with no Dawn added. But I've seen this card stick on the field for a while facing like Whitebeard back in the day. Only way to get rid of him was to bottom deck him. So a very sticky blocker that Marco could be. Speaking of Marco, we're gonna go on to the next one from OP3. So this is the super rare where on my turn on play, I get to KO a 3K body or less. So using this with leader ability, I'm able to remove a 5 cost, no problem. So on my 6th Dawn turn, which is my 3rd turn if I win 2nd, leader ability cycle, look for something better. Maybe I draw into Marco, minus one of my opponent's cards that's in a 5K stat line or less, and then I can pop it with Marco's clear board, and then now I have a 6K body to put pressure on my opponent. So this is definitely one of the pieces to remove. Great card. And it also has, when he's KO'd, I get to trash an event from my hand, and I bring him back rested as well. I do run a couple events. I might swap a lot of them around because some of them, I mean, you'll see it. I am running Peeloffs where it's like a hit or miss. It's good when I'm able to play it, but I'd rather run a lot of, different options, and I'll talk about them later in the video. But On to the next 5-drop of the list, the last 5-drop, and it's from the new structure deck. We are running 4 of the Portcullis DAs. If my leader has the Whitebeard's pirate tag, it gains rush, so which this does. It also has a once per turn. If this character would be removed by the field by an opponent's effect, I get to give him minus 2,000 and he stays on the field. So if you're facing black and they can't, if they try to KO it, I could reduce its stat line. It would go down to a 4K, but it sticks on the field and forcing them to have to swing at it again or use another card to remove it. It's kind of like Basil, but just not as good as Basil. But it is a rush card. This is the rush card I will use consistently other than the Jozu. So it came from the structure deck. Great card. It also has a 1K counter also, so it's not like the other 7-drop ace where it has no counter at all. This one at least does have it. On to the next one from the structure deck. This is one of the main ways to pop cards on the field, and that is the new 7-drop Newgate. So on play, I get to give a Rested Dawn card to my leader or one of my characters. Playing out this Newgate, I could attach it straight to my leader Marco, which allows me to use the leader ability right away to draw cards, cycle something out, and then give something minus 2,000 on my opponent's side of the field. So I'd be able to remove a 7K body, or 7K body with the Newgate ability. But in order to pop, he does have to go rested, so your opponent can swing into it the next turn. It's kind of like a Jack, but not as good as Jack. Jack gives himself that +4 stat for cost. So but yeah, I mean, this would be able to remove Jack if I had like an Otama plus leader ability to reduce it by 4, gets it down to 4K, then I could pop Jack no problem because I'm not dealing with cost. Such a great card. I might tweak it around a bit. I don't know about running it at 4 of. It is good, but with being able to search with Marco, and then I also have the Ezos, I might not need to run it at 4 of. But on to the next boss monster. I am running a 4 of Rayleigh. I am using a pudding as a little proxy because I need one more Rayleigh, especially if I'm trying to try Shanks next set. But Rayleigh is on play. Give up to 2 of your opponents, 1 -3, 1 -2. Then you pop a 3K. So another way of being able to keep the board under control, because with leader ability and then Rayleigh's 3,000, you could give something minus 5,000. So you could remove an 8K body like a 7-drop mom or a Jack. There's a lot of things that can be removed off the field with the Rayleigh combination. At a 4 of, just so that I can find it because it's not searchable. So with leader ability to kind of cycle and Ezo, that's the only way to try to dig through the deck, but mainly leader ability, which is also why I'm kind of running that Peeloff as an event. But yeah, other than that, after the on-play ability, Rayleigh just turns into an 8K vanilla, but still can put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Next boss monster on the list, I am running a 4 of Sanji. So 9-drop Sanji. On play, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character with 9 costs or less, play it out for free. With Marco ability, so on my 10 Dawn turn, I can use my leader ability. If I have like a Rayleigh in hand, I go draw a card, put the Rayleigh on the top, and then I play Sanji and play Rayleigh for free, giving myself a 17 Dawn turn, 18 Dawn turn, with the other one being on the leader ability. But such a crazy combo with the two. So with this leader ability and that, I'm able to pop up to an 8K body and establish two big bodies on the field to put pressure on my opponent. So hands down, this is the best combination in the deck. Best combo if you can pull it off. But that's it for the characters. Going on to the events, I am running a 2 of the Seaquake. This is searchable off Ezo. If your leader includes the Whitebeard Pirates, KO up to one of your opponents with 3,000 power or less. In the Uta video you guys saw, I did use this Seaquake to KO my opponent's Veggie to go for game. So this is a way to be able to remove some of those pesky, chump blockers that your opponent has. I am considering I'm potentially bumping this up, maybe to 3, a little nicer to see, or even my next event card, which is Fire Fist. I am running a 2 of. On play, I may trash 1 event card from my hand, kill up to one of your opponent's 5,000, or 1 5,000 or less, and 1 4,000 or less. So I could clear 2 bodies with this, at the expense of trashing 1 event card. But these are the only 2 removals that I have as far as, well, events, for red events. So a 3,000, 5 and 4. But the Seaquake seems to be a little bit less costly because it is dinging for one cost compared to 3. But I might swap these and make it maybe a 3 of. I'm not too sure yet, because the next card I do have is Sanji's Peeloff. I talked about it earlier. So for 3 Dawn, draw 2, great. But at the same time, when I see Peeloff, I would rather see Fire Fist or Seaquake. And very rarely, I don't think I've played Peeloff at all. So might swap this out maybe into 2 more Seaquakes and Fire Fist, and then maybe even add the 9 cost Newgate, because I was considering on adding them in, since it does have the ability to KO I believe a 3,000 or less. So with leader ability and then the Newgate, which also gives my leader ability a 2k buff, I feel like would be very helpful. But I don't know yet, still considering. But I might cut the Peeloffs, but as for now, that's what I was running in the deck list. And for my last card, it is Gravity Blade. So such a great card, I have to add it. No reason not to run it. Place up to 2 characters at the cost of 6 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. I'm running at a 2 of. Of course, this pretty much hits a majority of your opponent's cards, especially like Dofi. Dofi's running a lot of 4 costs, and then if it is, it's running a Jozu at a 6 cost. So Grab Blade is used to basically remove that off the field. But that's why you also have Fire Fist. That's why I'm thinking about bumping up Fire Fist, especially for a lot of Dofis running around. But yeah, this is my Marco deck list. Of course, like I said, might make a couple changes regarding to the Peeloffs, but if you guys like the deck list, give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. I think I took it off some other lists and tweaked it up a bit, but everyone's got to make their own tweaks. But if you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.